Risk-free money sports betting. What if I told you that was something that you could actually accomplish? Now, I understand that that sounds like a scam and you're going to be skeptical, but there is a legitimate sports betting strategy in which you are guaranteed to make money. It's risk-free, and that's called arbitrage, or arbing for short. Arbitrage betting is the art of making risk-free money sports betting. All you're doing is you're placing a bet on each side of the same exact outcome, meaning you're betting on an over and you're betting on the under of the same exact total, or you're betting on both teams to cover the spread. But you're doing this on two different books, obviously. But there is such a big odds discrepancy between the two sports books that no matter which outcome occurs, you are guaranteeing to profit. Now, I have an example on the screen here to show you what an arbitrage opportunity looks like on OddsJam. At the very top, you see the game. Below that, you see the market, which says player bases. And then below that, you see two columns. On one side, we are taking the over 0.5 total bases at minus 128 odds. On the other side, we are taking the under 0.5 total bases at plus 135, minus 128, plus 135. Because there is that 7-cent gap between these two numbers, between these two sports books, you could literally bet on both sides and you will guarantee to profit. You see the very bottom here, your rate of return, your profit percentage, your ROI, in this case is roughly 1.31. But there's no scenario in which you do not make money from this interaction, right? The player can't land on exactly 0.5 bases. He's either going to go over or he's going to go under. Now, I'll go into a ton of detail about arbitrage betting, why it exists, what are the different arbitrage betting strategies, but I did just want to provide an example of what an arbitrage bet looks like. Before I get into anything, I would appreciate those of you watching this if you could like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then of course comment, let me know your thoughts. As for me, my name is Matt Modi. I'm a content creator and betting analyst for OddsJam.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here at Jedi Modi. But as I mentioned, arbitrage betting, all you're doing is placing a bet on each side of the same exact market, right? The over and the under. And because there's such a wide gap in where the odds have that play priced, you're guaranteed to make money. No scenario in which you lose money. Now you're probably wondering, how the heck does this even exist? Like, why does an arbitrage opportunity even exist? How does this make sense? And I totally understand the question. But what you need to realize is that sportsbooks, all sportsbooks, FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever it may be, they all come to their odds independently, meaning FanDuel has their own way of pricing things. DraftKings has another. Now, yes, there are some outside factors that will impact the odds, like weather, injuries, stuff like that. It's mostly just based on like money coming and money going, where the sportsbooks are receiving money. If they're receiving a lot of money on one way, they're going to change their odds to reflect that, right? But an arbitrage opportunity exists when two sportsbooks, like a FanDuel and a DraftKings, or in the other example I showed you, the screenshot, Fox Bet and Bet365, these two sportsbooks received their money in such a different way on the opposite outcomes that there is such a discrepancy between these two books that this opportunity arises, where you can literally bet both sides. So the sportsbooks just received money so differently than each other that this discrepancy arises. That's also kind of how profitable sports betting works, like positive EV. You're just taking advantage of a sportsbook that has mispriced odds. There are some sportsbooks that are better than others at pricing odds, and there are some sportsbooks that update their odds more quickly than others as well. So there are a bunch of different situations where an arbitrage opportunity can exist. But the reason why is literally just because all sportsbooks come to their odds independently. They don't all come to their odds the same exact way, and because of that, discrepancies exist. So an ARB situation specifically exists when there is such an extreme difference on where sportsbooks receive money that you can take advantage of them. Now, I pulled up the example again to kind of walk through it in a little bit more detail. Again, at the very top, we see the game. Below that, we see player bases, and then both sides of the column, we see what the play is. One side, we're taking the over 0.5 bases at minus 128. The other side, we are taking the under at plus 134. But what you can do using the OddsJam calculator is you can just type in however much money that you want to risk on each side, and everything else will populate for you. So in the right side, I put in $100 we're putting on the under 0.5 bases at plus 135. Now on the other side, you see it tells you that we are putting roughly 132 on the other side. So no matter what happens, whatever he goes over, wherever he goes under, whatever it may be, we are profiting 1.31%, or in this case, $3. Now I understand you're saying, oh wow, whoop-de-doo, you made $3, congratulations. And again, I understand that, But what you need to keep in mind is this is just one arbitrage opportunity. In 1.31%, you could find one for 4, you could find one for 5. And if you lock in 10 of those a day, then you're making 40 or 50% of whatever you risk. So don't let the small percents or the small dollars in profit fool you, because it's also risk-free. You're just basically guaranteeing to make that amount of money. So when it comes to strategies regarding arbitrage, unfortunately, it's not realistic to make it a full-time strategy. Reasons why: limits are an unfortunate reality of sports betting. Sportsbooks will limit you even if you're not arbitrage betting. If you're just making money off of them, you will get limited. Now, some sportsbooks are better than others in terms of how aggressively they limit, but that is still a reality. And then also, due to the low payouts and the amount that you have to stake on one arbitrage opportunity, means that you constantly have a lot of your money tied up if you are placing a lot of arbitrage bets, which is not me saying you should avoid it entirely, but there are different strategies when it comes to arbitrage betting. So my personal advice when it comes to arbitrage betting is to use the profits you gain from arbing and basically use that to supplement your income for positive expected value betting. So maybe place like 3 to 5 or maybe 5 to 10% in terms of ROI in arbitrage betting specifically, and then use those profits towards a different strategy like positive expected value betting. But if we just pretend every single day you're making 5 to 10% because of arbitrage opportunities, well, you're just starting 5 to 10% in the green, right? You're giving yourself that 5 to 10% buffer if you have a bad day, or you're just increasing that to your profits you're making elsewhere. So I don't recommend arbitrage betting full-time, but I do recommend using it as a way to supplement your income, supplement your bankroll for positive expected value betting, especially if you're a new sports bettor and you only have a low bankroll and you don't want to risk a ton with positive EV betting. Well, you can use arbitrage to kind of slowly build your bankroll up and then use those profits again towards positive expected value betting. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video was helpful detailing what an arbitrage opportunity is, why they exist, what an arbitrage opportunity looks like, and then the best strategies when it comes to arbing at the very end. If you have any questions, again, please do not hesitate to reach out. Hit me up at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here, Jedi Modi, and that's it. So appreciate everybody watching and have a good one. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Below are all of my different social medias where I post picks and plays daily. Make sure to hit me up there. Also, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as I'm constantly putting out new videos to learn how to make money sports betting. And that's it. So thanks for watching and have a good one.